Good morning. Welcome to Tribune News on Q, your go-to morning news source, only here at Daily Tribune. We're live on Daily Tribune's Facebook page, Tribune Now on YouTube, and at Daily Tribune Official on TikTok. Now for today's headlines. A nation finds itself in the eye of two storms, reeling from a powerful typhoon while confronting the mounting threat of climate change, as government agencies mobilize relief and resilience efforts across the country. The brokers in Taiwan who were found to be exploiting distressed overseas Filipino workers have been suspended by the Department of Migrant Workers as Manila moves to tighten protections and clamp down on abusive recruitment practices. The Bureau of Internal Revenue files criminal complaints against former DPWH officials for alleged tax evasion and corruption, signaling a wider crackdown on irregularities in public projects. Typhoon Kalmegi slams into Vietnam after leaving at least 140 people dead in the Philippines, with rescue operations ongoing and international aid beginning to pour in. The U.S. government announces cuts to domestic flights as the federal shutdown disrupts air travel operations, raising concerns over economic and tourism impacts. Smart Communications partners with lending platform Juanhand to offer a 25% discount on prepaid load purchases, part of an effort to make mobile connectivity more affordable. Czech Republic's Natalie Pushkinova is crowned Miss Earth 2025 after winning judges over with her answer on climate change, highlighting calls for environmental action. Roy McClure accepts a formal apology from the PGA of America Chief Derek Sprague, who sent him and his wife a personal letter following the hostile crowd behavior they endured at the 2025 Ryder Cup in New York. Today is the 7th of November 2025, Friday, and I'm Eliana Lacap bringing you today's top stories. Let's kick things off with today's weather. The northeast monsoon continues to affect extreme northern Luzon, bringing cooler temperatures, moderate rains, and strong winds over coastal and mountainous areas. Residents and fishermen are advised to take precautionary measures against rough sea conditions. Now for our traffic update. Traffic is light at Balintawak, Mindanao and Bukawi toll plazas, as well as in the San Fernando northbound and southbound areas. All other sections of NLEX, SETEX, and the NLEX connector, including toll plazas and interchanges, are reporting light traffic conditions. Motorists are advised to remain alert and observe traffic advisories for a safe and smooth trip. Now let's move on to this morning's headlines. President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. has declared a state of national calamity following the devastation caused by Typhoon Tino and in preparation for another approaching storm, Typhoon Nuwan. The move allows the government to fast-track relief, mobilize resources, and provide immediate assistance to affected communities. Tino brought torrential rains and strong winds across the Visayas and Mindanao, causing massive flooding, landslides, and power outages that displaced thousands. At least 114 people have died, while damage assessments continue. The government has released 760 million in aid and is coordinating with local agencies to restore services and distribute emergency supplies, while preparing for Yuan, which could intensify into a super typhoon by Monday. Labor Attaché David Desdicang of the Manila Economic and Cultural Office in Kaohsiung City announced the suspension of the two Taiwan-based brokers following the complaints from the overseas Filipino workers over job mismatches and deceptive recruitment. The OFWs were promised caregiving jobs, but were instead made to work in factories and farms. While Taiwan's Bureau of Labor Affairs investigates, the brokers are barred from processing Philippine-sourced workers. MECO is also coordinating with the Philippine-based recruitment agencies to determine accountability. Officials urge OFWs facing similar issues to report violations to protect their rights. The Bureau of Internal Revenue has filed criminal complaints against former DPWH engineers Henry Alcantara, Bryce Hernandez, and JP Mendoza for $1.6 billion in alleged tax deficiencies. The BIR found they spent beyond their declared income, acquiring luxury vehicles and properties and earned from kickbacks in ghost flood control projects, reportedly laundering some through casinos. Individual liabilities, Alcantara with 900 million, Hernandez with 600 million, and Mendoza with 180 million pesos. The Bureau is also investigating other officials and private individuals linked to the irregular flood control projects, part of a wider probe with total tax liabilities exceeding 8.86 billion pesos. Typhoon Kilmegi, which killed at least 150 people in the Philippines, has made landfall in central Vietnam's coastal provinces, with winds up to 149 kilometers per hour. In the Philippines, the storm caused widespread flooding, swept away vehicles, and displaced over 500,000 people, particularly in Cebu. In Vietnam, thousands have been evacuated, airports were shut down, and heavy rainfall threatens flooding and landslides in already saturated areas. Authorities in both countries are racing to conduct relief and rescue operations as the storm moves across the region. The Federal Aviation Administration and the U.S. Department of Transportation announced that flights will be reduced by up to 10% at 40 major U.S. airports beginning Friday, citing mounting safety risks tied to staffing shortages amid the ongoing government shutdown. The cuts are aimed at easing pressure on unpaid, overworked air traffic controllers and airport staff who have been working without pay since the shutdown began. Airlines are preparing for disruptions and rerouting schedules, while the FAA notes further reductions could follow if the funding impasse continues. Smart communications and digital lending app OneHand have launched a new promo offering prepaid mobile subscribers a 25% discount when purchasing load via the OneHand platform. The partnership lets users buy smart prepaid load through the OneHand's Load Now, Pay Later service, making connectivity more affordable and accessible. Users simply download the app, select Smart Load, apply the discount, and pay within the agreed period. At the 25th edition of the Miss Earth 2025 pageant held in Manila, Natalie Pushkinova of the Czech Republic clinched the title after answering a tough climate change question with conviction and even ended her response in Filipino, saying, "Protektahan natin ang kalikasan." The question asked if resources should shift away from fighting climate change toward tackling disease and hunger. She replied that both issues are intertwined and must be addressed together. Her performance, advocacy, credentials, and message of unity won over the judges and the audience. Rory McIlroy has acknowledged a personal apology from the PGA of America CEO Derek Sprague after an abusive fan behavior directed at him and his wife, Erica McIlroy, during the 2025 Ryder Cup at Bethpage Black. McIlroy said the apology was a lovely letter. He couldn't have been more gracious or apologetic, and we really appreciate it. After a beer thrown from the crowd hit Erica's hat during the Europe's victory. Now, a quick look at today's horoscope. Today calls for patience and focus, Taurus. Your practical approach and steady determination make this a good day to plan carefully, prioritize tasks, and take deliberate steps toward your goals. At work, your reliability and methodical problem-solving earn respect from colleagues and superiors. Avoid overcommitting. Balance is key. Trust your instincts, celebrate small wins, and remember that consistent effort today could lead to bigger achievements tomorrow. And Katribu, did you know that today, November 7th, we remember a significant moment in Russian history? The Bolshevik reunion began in 1917, overthrowing the provisional government. The revolution paved the way for the establishment of the Soviet Union, marking the start of decades of communist rule and fundamentally reshaping Russia's political and social landscape. Now, a TikTok video by content creator Cheryl's finger art is taking social media by storm, amassing over 4.9 million likes and thousands of comments praising the artist's creativity. The clip features a gasoline attendant transforming a dusty car into a magnificent canvas, using only his fingers to create an anime-inspired illustration. Netizens have expressed amazement at his style, with many calling it artistry at its finest, and proof that creativity can shine anywhere. The video has sparked a trend of people sharing their own finger art on social media, inspiring others to find artistic expression in everyday moments. But before we go, here's the latest on the case of one of the OFWs who sought help yesterday on Usapang OFW through Father Joy Tajonera. As one of the officers of Havila International Manpower Services Incorporated, the agency of Ms. Maricris Tenorio, said they are willing to give a statement and provide an update regarding Ms. Tenorio's claims of contract mismatch and discrepancies in her actual work. This is a developing story. Stay tuned to Daily Tribune's social media pages for the updates and catch the Usapang OFW episodes from November 4 and 6 for more details. That's all for now, mga ka-Tribu. Join us again at 1 p.m. for more updates. I'm Eliana and this has been Tribune News on Q.